Yes, this week I had the unfortunate pleasure to put a screw into a pipe in the wall. Luckily it was only a drain pipe, so there was no water coming out. But nevertheless it had to be fixed. And as you can see here, I open up the wall and there it is. A nice hole that has to be dealt with before I could continue this installation. So in this video I will show you how to do just that. Let's get started. Before we get started, there's one important thing I need to tell you though, that this video is about drain pipes only. If you hit a water pipe, you need to shut off your water inlet valve as soon as possible and call a plumber. And if you do hit an electrical cable, the breaker will most likely shut off the power for that circuit and then you call an electrician. But fixing a hole in the drain pipe is considered low risk and you are able to do that yourself. The first thing to do, of course, is to open up the wall so you can see what the extent of the damage is. And to make sure that the patch we're putting on that hole has a very good fit, we must remove any burrs. And you can do that with a knife, as I'm doing here, or even better, you can use some sandpaper. The materials needed for this repair is a ABS coupling in the size of the pipe that you have drilled a hole into. In my case, it is a 3-inch pipe, so I have a 3-inch coupling. And then you need some ABS cement, which will be used to glue the patch we are making onto the pipe where we have a hole. I mentioned the word patch a few times, and that's because I'm not cutting the pipe and putting this coupling in between, because that is not easy to do. No, instead we are using this coupling to make a patch, and to do so we have to cut it, because as you can see here on the inside of that coupling there is a part of it that has an edge sticking out, and that's because that's where the two pipes normally meet, but we have to cut that away. So I will just cut a slice of this coupling and use that as a patch. First I put on some masking tape so I can make a line. I find it easy to cut through a pipe like this if I have a line to follow, because I will be using my oscillating tool. So put on some masking tape, make a line the whole way around. I think it's called circumference. No, maybe I'm getting it wrong. Anyway, make that line. If you're using an oscillating tool like I am, be careful not to cut into your fingers. I have not tried that, but I'm absolutely certain it will be painful. And now, after that has been cut off, you take that part that do not have that inner edge sitting on the inside, and then it's time to cut away about a quarter, or maybe even a bit less than a quarter, of the whole circumference. And we want to do that because then we can press it onto the pipe where we have the leak as a patch. The last thing we need to do before the patch is ready to go onto the pipe is to make sure that there's absolutely no burrs on that patch. Because if we have a burr, it might prevent the patch from sitting absolutely flat onto the pipe, and we don't want that to happen. No. So bring out your knife or your sandpaper and remove all the burrs that are sticking out on the inside of the patch. And that's it. Patch is ready, and we can now try it on to see if it is a tight fit. And when you have positioned it exactly where you want it, so it covers the hole you want to patch up, you can take a piece of masking tape and put on below or above the patch so you know where to put your cement. And now bring out the cement and add a good full layer on the pipe as well as on the patch. And when you have, make sure that you have every little piece of that patch covered, and as much as you can on the pipe. You might not be able to reach at the back unless you cut a really big hole in the drywall. You put your patch in place, make sure that it's sitting exactly where you want it, and then you hold it for a bit, maybe 10 seconds, so you're sure that the glue is interacting with the ABS pipe. And if you have done that, as I've shown you in this video, I can guarantee you that you will not have a leak there anymore. And even though I don't think it's necessary, you can always add a bit of cement to the top of the patch. So if there is any gap between the patch and the pipe, the cement will run down and seal that gap effectively. And that's it. This is how my patch ended up looking. It might not be the most beautiful patch, but I guarantee you that it will not be leaking at all. And now I'm ready to continue installing this kitchen. If you haven't seen my videos on how to install the rails, check these videos out. They might be very useful for you.